So we're in Clovis, California, getting ready to reinstall a toilet. Upstairs bath. It's got a PVC flange in here, 4-inch. And one thing we noticed is, quite a bit of, you can see the discoloration around the flange, so that's from water leaking. And a lot of these screws are not in wood, or if they are in wood, it's corroded. So we put in some new screws, like right here. You can see the silver color. They're larger. The other screws that were in place, and I don't like it when plumbers do this. See that? That's a gold screw for construction. That's not what you put in here. This is like a number 8 or it's a number 6 screw. We like to use number 10, number 12, which is very, very thick and then long, and it mounts it to the floor. Anyway, so we put in some of our screws. I think these are number 8 or number 10. It's all we had on the truck, but you can see the difference between the two screws, how much thicker they are. And still, though, it's not really hitting wood down there. So we give you a couple perimeter. These are, you can see where the holes are at. That's where the screws go. But we put some right next to where the bolt's at, here, and of course here. And then there's nothing, it's not hitting anything, so we can't put a screw back in there. And then of course here and here, because that's right next to the bolt. That's where the main bulk of the pulling force is going to be. And then these set just fine. This one was spinning. So anyways, we've got some screws in there. Hopefully this flange will hold, and we'll take another video when we're done. So still here in Clovis, California, finished getting this toilet installed. And we took a picture of the flange first. First portion of the video shows the closet flange down there, and it is PVC, and the wood is corroded. I tried to put some larger diameter, like number 10 screws in there. They had number 6 gold screws, which are not for mounting toilets. You either use brass or stainless steel. We like stainless steel, like a number 12 or a 14, very thick, and it goes in. Unfortunately, there's water damage at the subfloor, and so the screws aren't holding. We notice as we tighten down both sides, it just feels like it's pulling the flange upwards out of the floor because it's not holding the flange down. We could recommend going and demoing in the garage the sheetrock back and trying to block it and pull that flange back down, and then hopefully the plastic holds it in place. What we had to do is go around the perimeter and shim pretty aggressively, starting back about this grout line and coming all the way around to the front where it's the highest portion here, and then of course back around the side. Not quite back to the grout line, but about in here. So it's all shimmed. It's as tight as it's going to get. Now this toilet is designed for downward movement. It's not designed to come in here and move around and dance around and take a nap and get up on there and work on your light and your fan. It's just designed for the bathroom. Number 1, number 2. That's it. So it's good. If this thing loosens up again at some point, you're gonna have to go underneath. I mean, you could pop the floor open. If you have floor tiles, you certainly can pop these open. That's going to be a tile guy. It looks like they might have tiled underneath the baseboard, so all the tile needs to come out to here, to this line right here. All the tile would need to come out, and then we pull the toilet, pull the tile, go ahead and cut the subfloor, put a new subfloor in, put a block in. Nail it and glue it down, put a new flange in, screw it to the floor, and then put the tile back down, put the toilet back in. So that's the process, but it's very, very expensive. Our part of it, we're doing plumbing, so, obviously the plumbing would be, again, a toilet installation, and then of course, installing a new flange. So you're approaching $400 just for labor. And so we're trying to avoid that. Not trying to excuse ourselves for our work, but that is what we have. We have a loose flange in the floor and wet wood. So again, I mean, the quickest solution would be open up, and a handyman can do it. If you have a good handyman, open up sheetrock, take a nice 2x6 or 2x8 wide block, cut it a little long, just barely long, so that it sits on top of the 3-inch toilet line, comes through the floor horizontally, and then it turns up and goes up to the toilet. And then the flange sits up here on the floor. So if you take a block and put it up against the floor and then down against the bottom or the top of the closet arm, you could just keep it still just from underneath. Without seeing it, I don't know. But anyways, it's working correctly. So it's pretty tight. It's not, there's barely any movement at all. It's filling correctly, shutting off correctly, flushing correctly. Outside of that, this installation is done.